Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jamal Young. I'm a student at Southern University, and I'm a junior, and I'm majoring in computer science engineering.
So I'm Ural Garrett. I am a graduate of Southern University.
Mm.
I have actually been writing about gaming in general since Southern University, about 2007 ish. So while at Southern, while at the Digest, Southern Digest, shout out to them. One of the first big gaming stories I got to do was on Energized Entertainment, who released the HBCU football experience, um, which was kind of like the first. I guess it was the first game from a African American owned studio to like get a release from a major console. I think it came on Xbox 360 and PC back in the day. So since then, I've written about gaming for IGN, Complex, Tech Radar, Tom's Guide, and a boatload of other sites. I've been in general, just journalism in general, probably since then. But yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to answer the question now. I just
Yeah.
move it over. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I just it's something I kind of chose, and yeah, I started off doing just primarily stuff on just gaming in general, but it kind of switched over to esports probably kind of last year when
Hmm.
I started writing about more component stuff for Tech Radar. So I review keyboards, monitors, gaming center laptops, gaming center desktops, headsets. I got a gang of headsets, too many. I just like just throw them out like I'm Oprah to the homies. But yeah, so that's kind of where it's kind of started, you know, and that's where I am now. So
Yeah.
Very cool. Hi, I'm Jamie King. I grew up in England, but I moved to New York in '97. All right, mate. And yeah, I've been in video games since '97. I was super lucky. I was a co-founder of Rockstar Games. I left in like 2005. I then made and published Def Jam Rap Star with Kevin Lyles over at Def Jam. And like 2013, fell in love with esports. And even though I worked in games, I was like non-endemic to esports. I just forced my way in. And
Yeah.
now for like the last few years, I've been head of esports at Engine Shop Agency, which is like a sports marketing agency.
My name is Borden. I'm also known as BFW or Black Frank White. I am the NBA 2K League Global Community Ambassador. And to answer your question, I won't get the full background who I am. We'll be here forever. But to answer your question, I'll say I chose esports, but this role chose me. And what that means is, well, it means basically that I always had something to do with esports. I created, the first My Team tournament. Still to this day, the number one amateur tournament in the 2K scene, period, by far. We were the only amateur scene tournament to be recognized by the actual developers, Take Two. And we also got prizing from Take Two every year for my tournament out there called King of Kings. So I always wear that crown. And then that role kind of led me to where I'm at today. When the 2K League came about, I was blessed to come season one and watch great people like Larry on the broadcast really do their thing. And it kind of spawned me to create a show called First Shake with my friend who's now the head coach of Jazz Gaming, Comp Mitchell. That show was a debate show. It did really well. And Brendan Donahue, who's the president of the 2K League, saw it and hired me to do some work called the Post Up, which matriculated itself to this role I have today. So even though when I saw the 2K League, I saw opportunity, I was really looking at being the head coach or general manager. But I had like a lot of good friends that kind of told me, hey, this is where we need you at, Frank, because you have the right people and the right people to make right connections to help this league grow. So like I'll say I chose esports, but this role chose me. And I'll swing it over to the great Larry Ridley.
Oh,
Thank you.
we're not going to do that. What's up, Jamal? How you doing,
How you
buddy?
doing? Good,
man.
good.
Good. Hey, we had a little interaction back in last July, man. Right around the 4th of July, man. You played in the inaugural
Yes, sir.
all HBCU esports event, man, when we did the John Lewis Good Trouble movie.
Yes, sir.
2K takeover, man. So it was great to have you there. You and five other members from HBCU. So congratulations. Thanks for joining us. And tell Chris we said thank you and hello for being a part. My name is Larry Ridley, guys. I'm a sportscaster. Keep it real brief. I've been doing this for about 20 years. I work at SNY TV, home of the New York Metropolitans, NBC Sports. Voiced the Madden game for 5 years, 2014 through 2018. And that's pretty much the gist of what I do. Esports chose me, and I'm glad that it did, because I think I'm starting to transition more into esports. Love traditional sports, will never give it up, but I can see myself doing more esports, and we are currently have my Madden League and NBA 2K series on television now for the last year on a new black network called BNC. So that's keeping us busy, and that's been the impetus to sort of get me more involved in the esports. So really look into that, and I'm glad that I'm in this space, man. Have some fun. Culture, sports, entertainment, music, all that, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Okay, my next question is, what kind of jobs are in the esports industry?
In sports. On my end, like I said, I've always loved just different aspects of gaming, and it kind of just like things kind of just led me into kind of like the esports kind of centered component side of of gaming. So it's like, oh wow, there's you can have a job reviewing keyboards, and you have to learn about keyboards. Like there's a difference between like regular mechanical and membrane switches. Like it wasn't our things like understanding pole rates and all other stuff. You know what I mean? Even for headsets, like keep like pretty much if you're playing some of the top esports games, like the League of Legends or Call of Duty or stuff like that, you need to have like the best equipment that you can have. You know what I mean? Even if you're playing, Madden or 2K, like you need a good headset. You know what I mean? Because communication is key. You know what I mean? And these are things that like I kind of fell into, but it wasn't definitely, especially coming from where I'm from, it's just not a lot of, pipelines to it. I just kind of fell into it. Mainly because, like I said, I've been writing about, gaming, for super long, and some of the friends, some of the people you meet. Hey, I'm working here. Hey, why don't you write over here? Why don't you write over here? Why don't you write over here? So they're definitely, at least on the journalist, whether, even with Larry, just on the broadcast side, journalism too, there's just something for like everyone,
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll jump in here. I think one of the biggest things that I'm trying to do in my role is teach, a lot of young people about the jobs behind the camera, right? I think Larry can attest to this too, and I'm sure Jamie as well. Like Larry executive produce shows and things of that nature. There's so much of that work that's coming up now, and that's heavy esports, right? To Garrett's point, like you have League of Legends, Overwatch, you have us, you have FIFA, you have Madden. All those things require people to make those things work behind the scenes. You have executives, you have people in the what they call the green room handling that stuff. So that's one of the big things I try to teach. Not everybody has to want to be a pro in a sense. There's other opportunities that make just as much money, if not more money, that are behind the scenes jobs. So the opportunities are limitless, and esports is ever growing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a like esports is quite event heavy, right? Side. So there's a lot of broadcast work. And then I think because it is esports and the organization of the tournaments, whether it be like, on Smash GG and online, right, or be on the summit, to then actually in person, there's a lot of new roles in terms of, gamer techs, right, being on stage, helping set up the equipment, right, supporting players, making sure they're ready with their comms. Then there's the tournament administration, right, and overseeing how it's administered and the rules, right, and starting the games and keeping track of all the scores. Then there's sort of like the more traditional frontline broadcast team that Larry obviously, and Frank really know well about, where we've got, a technical director, we've got a producer, we've got a director, we've got, someone, teleprompters, we've got then, makeup artists and cameramen and lighting men and sort of traditional broadcast roles. I think what's interesting then is like community management is a really big piece. So whether you're now managing a community on Discord, right, which a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with. So you're still being a journalist, or you're still being a manager of people, but you're not doing it necessarily on social media. You're not doing it over email, but you're doing it in like a platform like Discord. And then it's the same with Twitch. There's a lot of programming jobs, right? I think when you think about where esports is going and the data, right, and how we're using tools from Twitch and channel points and to like Discord, and the moderations of that, there's actually a lot of technical roles, right?
Yeah,
in terms of like computer science and programming.
definitely.
I just want to echo kind of what everyone was saying. I'll keep it very brief. Frank, Ural, and Jamie, they're spot on. When I first got in esports, I looked at the parallels, plural, to traditional sports and just production and just TV in general. A lot of parallels. I mean, we're doing a lot with HBCUs, and Jamal, you know this, and
Yeah,
Chris Turner as well. We're doing this HBCU league that I'm a part of every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday with the Esports Alliance, the Yard, and we're just trying to grow the scene to get more, Black and brown communities involved in esports, because there's so many jobs behind the scenes.
yeah,
Talk about camera guys. I mean, tournament organizers. I run my own series, but I've got probably a half dozen people that work with me, and we're a small operation because we need all of that. I need someone that organizes the tournaments, that does the rules and all of that, to communicate with the players. You need technical guys. I got guys that just run the stream, audio guys. I got a broadcast team. So you need all of that. You got administrators. We need all of that. And, it's a huge, huge ecosystem out there, and there's a lot of jobs. And I can see esports sort of being, in the forefront, showing traditional media how to do things. You know what I'm saying? As far as the chat and assimilating all of these other sort of ideas that we're doing in esports. And you're starting to see some of that, because trust me, the TV folks are looking at it. So this is a great space to be in right now.
Yeah, definitely. So, Mr. Larry, so when you first got into TV and being an anchor, did you see yourself being the voice of Madden, 2K, or any other popular gaming title?
No, didn't know anything about it. The weird thing is, I say this and I kid, but it's true, because I always like to keep it a buck, whereas the kids like 100. I don't play games, guys. People find that weird, but I don't. I'm 44. I'll be 45. I got 4 kids. My oldest son's 21. I don't play games. I did in college, but not now.
Yeah.
It's never too late to play games. Like it's never too late to go to school, right? It's never too late to education. It's never too late to play games and get in the esports.
Definitely.
I like everything else about esports. I'm not really into the gaming. I like everything else that's associated with gaming. So that's one thing that that I like to tell people. As far as getting into Madden, that was just by coincidence. I just happened to be I was an anchor in Orlando, and I'll tell you this in about 15 seconds. I anchored in Orlando. They reached out to me. They wanted a role for the pre and post game show and a reporter in the game. I auditioned. They loved it. They said, "Hey, we're not going to give it to you. We're going to give it to this other person." I was like, "Oh, okay." And they called me back like a day or two later and said, "We got a bigger role because of what you did in the audition. We want to create this new role." And I got to work with Jim Nance and Phil Simms on that first Madden. It was at Madden 25, which is in 2014. And I did Madden 15, 16, 17, and 18. And it was a great opportunity for me. That was 20 seconds. My bad.
That's all good.
Larry and I actually worked together, and I found myself running the Microsoft Esports and Gaming Studio on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
And I met Larry. He's like, "Yeah, I want to do a Madden event." And I swear we've never had so many people turn up. and it was packed. Like, we were way oversubscribed, and it was rowdy as it was crazy. But he brought players, right? And the players came because they trusted Larry, and he built a brand there. And we had an amazing tournament.
Over 2 days, 125 guys.
Yeah.
First Madden event that actually sold out. I never heard
and it was the year that 15-year-old Dringy, right, came out.
Yes. Right? Look at him now. Drinny was there. Drinny, Joke was there. The other guy, what's his name? I forget his name.
Dubby, right?
Dubby was there. All of the guys, Skimbo, all of the guys that have belts started in my league.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh man, that's nice. That's real nice. So Mr. Graham, so you have been around the grassroots scenes for 2K for a while. So how did that prepare you for the roles you have now in the 2K League and NBA?
That's a great question. Essentially, building the amateur scene up and making it more competitive. It didn't exist in 2K, right? That groundwork wasn't there. It really started with I'm sure Larry knows, like OG King Kerr with MPBA, but on the My Team side we didn't have that, right? We had it on like the My Player side. So it was us coming together and saying, hey, let's build what esports should look like for 2K. And that's tough, right? You're going into uncharted waters. We don't have a League of Legends or Overwatch background. We just know that we love 2K. We want to see people play competitively. So building that structure wasn't easy, but once it was built, it ran itself, and it was amazing to see the growth from it. I had some of the top content creators that you know and love today: Flight Reacts, Cash, Nasty, LSK,
Oh man.
Los Polos, all participated in my tournament because they just wanted to compete and give their fans an opportunity to compete with them. So to provide that definitely helped me to get where I'm at today. Because now I'm pinging these same guys like, hey, excuse me, you owe me a favor. Can you come help me grow this league right here? So, so you know, one hand washes the other. So,
yeah. Because
quick, I hate to interrupt. Graham is being very, very kind, and he's being very, very cool about it. I'm going to pat him on the back. Big shout out to Graham. Without Graham and without guys like OG King Court putting together, the pretty much the whole internal thing that NBA 2K League has, they started this. I'm just going to say it. They started this. They are the driving force behind the NBA 2K League. This man right here and OG King Kurt helped drive the NBA 2K League. And mark that.
That's why I get paid the pennies, man. Make sure they never forget it. So I appreciate that, Larry. But no, but OGLT, man, like MPBA, WR, Prestige Area with Famous, those guys, all of us created that groundwork, man. To Larry's point, and we're just blessed that we are actually we can take that and make it into a career from having just
definitely.
Enough people don't say that though. Enough people don't know that and say that, so we need to sing their praises.
Definitely.
Yes, indeed.
I appreciate that, man.
So for Mr. Ural, you write about all kinds of topics. Did you ever see yourself writing about esports and gaming? If not, what have you learned from the experience?
Yeah, like I said, I always knew that like I was going to be writing about gaming in some capacity. Like I said, going back all the way to my time at Southern and the digest.
Yeah.
So that was always a thing. However, for like I said, a lot of my career is kind of split between like gaming and tech, and kind of like music and entertainment.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of ended up, for spending about good 3 years at like places like Hip Hop DX. Little producers there. So, and also while at DX, I kind of started their kind of gaming initiative that they kind of ran with kind of about 3 years. So it started with me doing like just like cool like videos of rappers. So I think around 2015, around the time Mortal Kombat X came out, we did a cool video of Egos where like I had like my Charlie moment, Prince moment with Migos and get my ass to Mortal Kombat battle. That was pretty funny though. And then we did some other videos for like 2K around the soundtrack, like kind of based around the soundtrack. So pretty much by the time I ended up leaving DX and I ended up working full time for which I do now, will.i.am multimedia production company, I Am Media. I was kind of able to kind of pretty much easy kind of slip in between the stuff that like Will likes, which is like tech and like music and hip hop and stuff too. So pretty much around that time, I was still writing a lot. So that's how I started writing a lot more for like IGN and Tom's Guide and Tech Radar and all of that. So like I said, it's like if I'm not like writing about a lot of music stuff, it's normally about tech anyway. It's always split between the two. So.
Oh man, that's really nice. That's really nice. So for Mr. King, I have a question. So I know that you are the creator of Grand Theft Auto. So was moving from gaming to head of esports a hard transition for you?
And I was one of many to be very lucky, right, to work.
I
was the creator, but yeah. Well, it was very interesting because I hit a point where I was a bit done with console gaming, and I had been at Rockstar as a founder, which was owned by Take-Two, right, ironically. And so it wasn't like I was necessarily going to go to another publisher. And then I had my own games company, and I did Def Jam Rap Star, and then I kind of was a bit burnt out, and I got into mobile a bit, and then I collaborate with an agency called SA Studios, which was started by Mr. Cartoon and Esteban Oreo in East LA. And we were doing a lot of kind of collabs and consumer product stuff with Major League Soccer. And then in order to be a vendor of record with Riot, I had to grind and rank in League of Legends.
Yeah.
And I was just like on a mission, and I just grinded away. And I actually sort of fell in love with the game. And then we made a load of like cool swag for viewing parties and the collegiate viewing parties around Worlds in 2013. And I went to the Staples Center, and it sort of blew my mind. And like, I came up on making music videos, which is how I got connected to Sam Hauser and Rockstar Games in the first place. And just like the event and the tournament and the stage and the crowd and the energy. And so I sort of fell in love with it that way. And then because we weren't Major League Soccer, like in 2016, we were like FIFA, North America, wide open, like you need to be in it. And then we were really lucky, and we helped launch EMLS for FIFA. And then whilst that was happening, I got to run the studio. Microsoft built this amazing esports studio on Fifth Avenue. And we had to make 10 shows a month. Every show was a 3-hour live show, and it was all from community to pro point events. And we did Madden, FIFA, PUBG, Fortnite, League of Legends, everything. But I still feel like a non-endemic. I'm not a pro player, right? I'm not like you guys who you're right, you built the beginnings of like 2K League, right? Like the work that Larry's done, like how exposure, right? What was it? Danny had a fucking LAN in his basement, right? And so when I made games, like esports was very different, and it was community driven. It was started by people who had a passion and with equipment all together in a room, right? There was no publisher support. It was annoying for publishers. It cost them money, but it became something. So it's been hard, and I've always liked studying, and I always feel like I'm under pressure and I have something to prove, and I'm a non-endemic, right? And I've got a lot to learn, right? So
yeah, definitely. So I have a question for you, Mr. Mr. Jamie and Mr. Larry. So my question is, what resources what resources do you use to keep trending or keep like up to date in the gaming and esports industry?
Go ahead, mate.
I'm like a shuffle truffle, right? I use OneNote, and I have OneNote pages on the industry, the platforms, the org, right? The talent agencies, the games, right? PUBG, then the PUBG esports scene internationally, right? How it's faring in America, like then how well it's doing on mobile, to gaming culture. So the work I do, so I've been doing work for Anheuser-Busch, like their global esports strategy. I've got to have a very broad knowledge. But then, as we all know, okay, you're a non-endemic, you want to get into esports, but you've actually really got to understand your audience. Well, there's a lot of subtleties and nuances to being part of a League of Legends community versus NBA 2K versus Madden. And I would say that's also where, even though there's all the production work and marketing work, it's all very similar, it is actually very nuanced. And that's why this younger generation are very well placed, because they live and breathe to have the skill sets to actually be able to, you have to know the game, right?
Definitely.
Then how to work within it, right? Or support
definitely.
It. So, .esports, Esports Observer, a lot of the media and kind of journalists, right? Like Ural. And then, always looking at Twitch tracker, Twitch metrics, right? For the aggregate blocks of who's got the big channels, who's growing, right? Where they're balanced. And then even Forbes, right? The Wall Street Journal. And I just archive everything. So then when I have to go a bit deep on something, right? I've got that research. So research.
For me, I just, I keep it very simple, man. I focus on what we're good at, right? You can be the, master of none. You know what I'm saying? It's no, I want to be good at Madden. And then we do 2K. Those are the only two games we really do. I'm a real big guy. I'm a sportscaster. So that's really the only two games I really focus on. And we try to treat it just like real sports. Let's not reinvent the wheel here. Let's have some fun. And let's see if we can get traditional sports fans and non-traditional sports fans that will watch traditional sports and let them come watch esports. Because let's be honest, esports, 95% of the country, the audience, they don't know what the hell esports is. and they probably never will buy into esports when we're talking about a real big audience, the typical audience out there, everyone, the available audience out there. So that's kind of how we approach it. Have some fun, entertain, infotainment, right? Inform and entertain. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to have that strong link with traditional sports, but do it with an esports sort of flair with it. So we try not to be, we don't want to overdo it. You know what I'm saying? Let's just have some fun.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
We are interested in production and making sure the production is solid, putting our best foot forward, all the new practices, anything that's new from a production standpoint. That's what we're about.
That's a very good point, because like we do a lot of broadcast too. So I will actually pay attention to people like Larry broadcast, because I want to see how they're doing the graphics, right? How they're
definitely.
And how can we make a better show? Like, so we do take inspiration from other people and the broadcast they do, right?
I actually took a thing from CNN like a month ago. We added a new box that we had, and I saw it on CNN. I was like, I told my guy, give me that.
Right.
Said,
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I have a question for you, Mr. Graham. The NBA displays hype surrounding the athletes, but what has the NBA 2K League done to showcase the talent and careers behind the scenes?
That's a great question. I think, honestly, I'll start with in front of the camera. I think, and I always tell people this, I think we're the best storytellers in esports. I think it's extremely important to get the stories of our pros out there. That's, rule number one. Then on the other side of that, behind the camera, we do stuff like this, right? You have me on the panel like this. Brendan Donahue, our president, does a lot of panels. Our head of broadcast, Matt Arden, does a lot of panels. My head of marketing, Lindsay Ullman, she does a lot of panels. We just, help get the word out about, esports and what we are as a league and how that can, for lack of a better word, advance the culture of what we're doing, So.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's challenging though, right? I think because we have like these traditional sports orgs who now maybe have hired someone in the front office to manage these pro esport players, but they're used to and their budgets are still tight, right? Because we're still young and we're growing.
Startup,
and then they're used to using their traditional channels for promoting their players. But these guys have different audiences that are on Twitch and are on YouTube and on Discord and Twitter, and they don't necessarily, it doesn't come naturally. And then I would say that then ties into the job opportunities, right, for the younger generation coming up who actually have grown up natively with these platforms and watching audiences, right? So they actually do know how to market and how to promote, right, and tell those stories. And there's opportunities there, but we're at the very early stages, right? And we all want to be like the Olympics in terms of our storytelling. And that's where we have to get to. So for Larry's comment about the 95% don't know about esports, right? That's how we're going to ultimately hook them, right? Is we get those human narratives going. But it's a process.
Power of story, human interest, power of story. Absolutely. It works in every daggone industry.
Right.
Yeah. So I have my last question is for Mr. Ural. So how important is content creation to any industry, and where do you see journalism in the next 5 years as it pertains to gaming and esports?
Let's see. So in regards to creating content, I think I started off in print, and and then I kind of evolved to doing photography, and then I went from photography doing video. So I think nowadays, if you're in the new crop of journalists, regardless, even if you're on the broadcast side, it's good to know how to write.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean? If you're on the print side, it's good. If you're on the print side, it's good to know how to work the camera. I think that all of those kind of skills kind of intertwine with each other. And it's happening now, if anything, in the next 5 years, I look at kind of esports coverage to be just as, big and, just as big as, the major broadcast, the major, outlets, especially as hype grows. I mean, even if you look at just how hype is going now, you got big companies like Sony buying Evo. which was huge. That was like last
Yeah.
year or whatever when the news, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I think we're at the point now, like, you know, where, you know, there's no way but up for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I have a question, like a personal question for all of you guys. So do you guys feel like that esports is something that like it can become like something that's like really, really big, you know, such as like, you know, how you know, at one point in time, you know, Apple products or, you know, different companies or different sorts of things, they was a small business at first, and then it became something big that everybody knows nowadays, you know, until modern day. So do you guys feel like esports would become, or esports has the capability to, you know, reach the point where it's just as big as, you know, one of the other big companies like Apple or stuff like that?
I'll go ahead and take this first. I love where we're at. I just want us to be slow and steady. I don't like to over promise and oversell, lower the expectations. You know what I'm saying? Sort of, you know, outkick your coverage. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to expectations, you want to lower the bar. Sometimes we're ahead of our skis a little bit. That bothers me sometimes. Look, the truth of the matter is it's a growing and emerging, you know, sort of, you know, ecosystem. It's great, but let's be honest about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, sometimes I got an issue with how we're portrayed and how we go about it. Just slow and easy. Look, last year during the pandemic was a great opportunity for esports. Terrible for the, you know, for the country and the global community as a whole with the COVID situation, right?
Yeah.
Opportunity for us, for content creators, going back to what Ural talked about, content creation. I always tell students when I'm speaking at classes, guys, you're going to get told no a hell of a lot. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't need one yes. That's what you want. One yes. So put your content out there. I don't give a damn if one person is watching it. That's all that matters. Last year, when there were no sports on, you know what the TV networks were looking for? Cheap programming. What is programming? Esports, relatively, you know, compared to TV. That was an opportunity. That's how we got our TV deal. So that's where you can take advantage of some opportunities there. And once again, just push your content. Push it, push it, push it. Be consistent and be simple with it. That's what I would say.
Definitely.
I think we all hope, right? I mean, so look, I'm a first generation gamer, right? I worked on PlayStation 1 games, right, at the publishing side, and I'm now like 49. I've got 2 daughters, and we're trying to make a Roblox game. I've not stopped gaming, right? I'm now sharing that passion with my kids, and my kids are growing up just caring about this YouTuber, Aziz, right? Playing in Minecraft or Roblox, right? And TikTok. And so like they're just absolutely native. And I think you look at the viewing numbers around League of Legends, right? And we'll get there, right? I think to Larry's point and to Mr. Graham's point, like there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built. Look how long it took the NFL, right, to build out their league ops. We don't really
stop saying that League of Legends is bigger than the damn Super Bowl. It's quick to the nonsense. Stop that. Because it's not.
Dude, I didn't say that. And I'm a Giants fan, baby.
No, it's not you, but other people. It makes us look.
Sure. Yeah. But look, we have a lot of mental health and wellness, equality, diversity issues, right? We don't have national like government regulation, the Olympics, right? We're not still there yet with them. So I think what will be very interesting is how gaming is now affecting middle school, high school, colleges. Skills that we're learning, but also actually starting to like scrape the data and be able to see that I'm improving and be able to be put in a program. I think, you know, as the years go on, it is going to keep growing. And there's absolutely opportunities at the Apple level down the road. Mr. Graham, you have your own show on the Bud Light Twitch channel.
Yes, I do. I heard you say stuff about AB. I was like, oh, okay.
Because we did a whole like influencer campaign last year to help double their followers, right? And I built a deck, and I keep looking at the logo BFW, and I was just like, whoa, I need to connect with you after. Really good to meet you.
Definitely. I'm super happy Bud Light jumped in on the BFW Live. They've been a great partner in this. During the season, we, you know, to your point, Jamie, we stream on the Bud Light's channel, and then during the off season, I switch it back over to 2K League's channel and that, but Bud Light still sponsors throughout the whole time. So it's been an amazing partnership. They've been great, man. I love them, man. So
yeah, good. I'll connect with you offline. Right on.
Yeah, definitely.
It's awesome.
I also like to say, like, you know, the cool thing about esports, especially, I guess I wouldn't be. I'm not old enough to be a first generation gamer, but like, I just remember thinking it was like cool as hell to see somebody like Fatality One, who like kind of like, you know, went from like playing Quake 3 Arena to like getting his own graphics cards and getting his own, like, you know, motherboards and stuff and running like he was Jordan.
It's amazing that you mentioned Fatality. I'm actually wearing this beating cancer.
Yeah.
So we're helping Lymphoma and Leukemia Society get into gaming, and Fatality did our first charity stream.
Oh wow!
It was like the original
yeah.
Good at building brand,
yeah,
and licensing his mark, right?
Yeah,
he's like, absolutely, yeah.
You know, and then you look at other things like, you know, well, was it 2004 or 5 with the whole Evo moment? That's like pretty much technically one of the biggest like viral video game moments of all time. And now you look, like I said, going back to what I said last time, now you're seeing someone like Sony buy the entire, like, you know, the brand of Evo. So now it's like, oh, somebody like Sony can take, you know, essentially a brand that's been around for, you know, over 10 years, just literally fighting game tournaments like the Olympics pretty much. And now like somebody like Sony can really take it to like extreme levels. And, you know, you look at this week, you know, you know, everybody likes to talk about, you know, Madden and NBA 2K in regards to, you know, black players, but like black people are like really killing it in Mortal Kombat on the tournament scene of Mortal Kombat. I mean, you look at people like Sonic Fox.
Right.
Yeah, you look at Sonic Fox, who not only is, you know, black kid, but he's like gay and a furry, which are like, you know, like kind of taboo conversations that, you know, a lot of black folks don't know what furries are, but now you got somebody like, you know, Sonic Fox, who is like starting these conversations. So it's like,
definitely.
You know, I think that you know, right now it's like, you know, it's like, you know, like I said last time, like it's on nowhere but up.
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
I'm actually drinking my tea out of an evil genius.
Oh wow!
Look, but that's an org that actually is like really trying to push and the support of diversity, equality, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
So Mr. Jamie, I have a question for you. With the whole, like, I didn't know that you was in the ground floor of Grand Theft Auto. How do you feel seeing it still carry on today? Right, I think this last iteration of the game is like 6 years old now.
Amazing, right? It's amazing. So, and that's I think that for me at a high level, when we think about careers, right, and the longevity of the economics of gaming, Rockstar did a really good job of not only having a box copy game that they sell to us for $60, but then incorporating like the microtransactions, right, and the free-to-play elements of I'm online and keeping me as a customer year after year after year, and there's no limit to how much money I'll spend with them. Like, I'm super proud. It's amazing. And it's funny because I quit. I was a founder, right? And I quit in like 2006. Whatever. And like, I'll still get people going, Dad, do you regret that? Like, but it's amazing. And I still, no one's taken it out either. Like, what game has calmed right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, I just wanted to add that we were talking about just, you know, content creation, where we go with esports. Keep in mind, like 70 to 80% of kids and college students, you know, are gamers or identify as gamers. That's a huge opportunity we have.
Yeah.
Sports, man. Like I said, we just gotta keep going, man. Like I said, this thing can really, really pop and grow. We're not there yet, but we've got, you know, the infrastructure and the opportunity, man, to really, really make some
exposure. And Danny proves, starting like Larry, right, Mr. Graham, hard work, focus, plug away. And Larry, to your point, only one person saw or heard you or whatever. You just chip away, because you never know, right? And you get no, good. Get those no's as quickly as possible, fail as fast as possible, because at some point you get that yes, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I'll say this, the beauty about this panel, which I love, and the genius of the people that put it together, and please, I don't want to say his name wrong, I think it was Christopher, but everyone here, to Jamie's point, is a self-starter. Like we came in this and maybe we didn't know where we were gonna go with it. We just knew that we can make an impact, and we're constantly realizing that, and we only scratched the surface, right? So someone like Garrett has been in this for a minute. He still only scratched the surface, right? He still is growing and improving. That's the beauty of this, man. We're just getting started, you know what I mean? So sky's the limit.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. That was all my questions I had for today. I would like to say my name is Jamal Young. I go to Southern University, and I'm in the esports program, and I major in computer science engineering. I just want to say thank you guys again for answering all my questions that I have for you guys today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.
Thank you.
SU, go Jags, baby. Baton Rouge, what up, back?